Tonight, Governor McKee delivered his third State of the State address at the Rhode Island State House.
The governor laid out his plans to invest in education, small businesses, and health care. 12 News anchor Kim Kalunian is at the State House and joins us now with a recap. Kim?
Well, the governor's official budget proposal will be released on Thursday, but we now have a pretty good idea of what's going to be in it, including the governor's pledge to not raise any broad-based taxes, all while aiming to make the state a better place to live, work, and learn. In a roughly 45-minute address, Governor McKee says the state of Rhode Island is strong, but the work isn't done.
We all want a Rhode Island that's better for our kids, for our grandkids.
One of his top priorities continues to be education, ensuring more kids are in the classroom more often and getting Rhode Island students in line with their peers in Massachusetts by the year 2030.
That's why my budget will propose $15 million for math and English language arts coaching for students and professional development for teachers to help us meet the goal ahead of us.
He also wants to get Rhode Islanders' income more on par with the Bay State.
We're going to set a goal to raise per capita income by a minimum of $20,000 by the year 2030.
He did not get into specifics about how, saying it's a plan his administration will roll out over the next 100 days. In a non-policy moment, the governor acknowledged the frustration caused by the abrupt closure of the Washington Bridge.
So I want to once again thank Rhode Islanders for their patience and understanding.
Promising the bridge would be reopened as quickly as possible. He also honed in on reducing red tape for small businesses.
One of my top priorities is making Rhode Island a better place to do business.
Proposing a reduction of the corporate minimum tax, eliminating fees, and helping minority and women-owned businesses qualify for state contracts. On the healthcare front, the governor will create a new working group to look at the state's healthcare delivery system. And on housing, he's calling for a $100 million production bond that voters will get the final say on. The governor also spoke directly to retirees tonight, saying he's tasking the state treasurer with looking into potential changes to the state's retirement system and is hoping to raise the threshold on taxable retirement income. At the State House, I'm Kim Kalunian, 12 News.
Thank you, Kim. House Minority Leader Michael Chippendale delivered the Republican response to the State of the State, touching on the Republicans' call for an adjustment to Medicaid reimbursement rates to keep healthcare workers in the state, and claiming the state won't be able to reach its 2030 climate mandates.
Republicans call for a more measured approach, using a sound, proven implementation, just as other U.S. states have done. We want to reactivate the Ratepayer Advisory Board, enabling more public input on proposed rate hikes. And we must also restore power to the Public Utilities Commission to review our renewable energy supply and costs.
Chippendale also says Republicans want to create an office of the Inspector General.
Our State of the State coverage continues now with analysis from 12 News politics editor Ted Nesi. Ted, the governor painted an upbeat picture of how Rhode Island is doing under his watch, and that's what you expect in a speech like this, right?
Yeah, you've seen a lot of these State of the State
Yes,
Mike. You know the pattern. Yeah, you know, this is the biggest night of the year for a governor, right? It's a chance to take a victory lap, point to things you think have gone well. You know, we heard him on stats about education, the unemployment rate at a record low. But even more so, Mike, I think it's a chance for the governor to set priorities. You got all the other state officials there. You got big TV coverage, et cetera. And so what do you want to do this year? And so we heard from McKee last year that goal of getting to Massachusetts levels in education by 2030. And tonight he was talking about raising Rhode Islanders' incomes. What I really want to see now is the budget bill that he has to put in on Thursday, when we'll get the details, the nitty-gritty on some of what he talked about.
Well, Ted, we heard one of the governor's biggest new pledges in his speech tonight was to raise Rhode Island's per capita income by $20,000 by the year 2030. What type of goal is that?
It's a big goal. It's an ambitious one. You know, just so people understand what we're talking about here is you take all the money earned by all Rhode Islanders, rich and poor, divide it up by the size of the population, and you get a number for everybody. The governor wants to raise that number by $20,000, and we have some statistics that will help explain why. In Massachusetts, per capita income is about $85,000. In Connecticut, it's almost as high. It's about $83,000. But in Rhode Island, per capita income is only $63,000. And Mike, this isn't a new problem. Rhode Islanders' income has been falling behind the neighboring states since World War II, but it's really part of the reason the state struggles so much much to match Massachusetts in particular on things like education. So interesting that the governor set that big goal, but now we need to see how he wants to achieve it. And he said that plan is still being worked out.
How difficult is it for him to sell this budget?
Well, I think, the General Assembly, they're going to like the parts that they already liked, and they'll see, well, maybe we'll listen to you on some of this stuff, and then they're going to have their own ideas. So it's going to be interesting, as always, over the next few months. The rubber will meet the road in May and June when they write the final bill.
All right, Ted, as always, thank you very much. 12 News Politics Editor Ted Nesi.
Good to be here.
And right now on WPRI.com, you can watch the governor's full State of the State address, as well as the full Republican response. We also have the key takeaways from the address and expert analysis. It's all on WPRI.com.